The stars above were beautiful, but they didn't feel warm anymore. Ambassador Nia Rowe sat alone in her private quarters aboard the Unity, Earth's main diplomatic cruiser orbiting Helios Prime, the capital world of the Galactic Council. Stars blinked through her window like tiny voices. But tonight, she didn't want to listen. Not to the stars, not to the silence. She missed someone. His name was Elias. He wasn't a leader, or a soldier, or a diplomat. He was just a man with kind eyes and rough hands who fixed old ships on Europa Station. He had grown up with her, back when Earth was still learning how to speak with the stars. Years ago, before she became Ambassador Nia Rowe, they had shared nights watching Jupiter's clouds, eating noodles from cheap plastic bowls, talking about everything they didn't understand. Used to say, one day they'll listen to us, Nia. We'll bring something real to the stars. But now, Elias was gone, not dead just. It's far. She hadn't spoken to him in nearly 5 years. Back then, Nia had left Europa with dreams of peace, unity, and honor. She joined the council thinking humans could help build a better galaxy. Elias had warned her. They don't want equals. Nia, they want someone to sit and smile while they make the rules. She had laughed at the time. She had believed in unity. In progress, now she wasn't so sure. The council had stopped listening. No matter how much she talked, offered, smiled, they always talked over her. Yesterday, during the vote, they cut her off mid-sentence, like she wasn't even there. She thought of Elias then. He never made her feel small. Nia looked down at her. Hands, they trembled slightly. Not from fear, but from something older. Regret. She wanted to talk to him, to hear his voice, to say you were right. But she didn't know how. He lived on Mars now, she had heard. He ran a small workshop in the canyons, far from politics. Probably didn't even watch the council broadcasts anymore. She had his contact link once. But she had deleted it the day she got her ambassador pin, as she told herself then that she had to move on. That old friendships were distractions. Now she wished she hadn't. Her datapad blinked with new council memos. Cold, formal messages full of false concern. She ignored them. Instead, she typed in an old search, Elias Merrick Mars. Results, private listing. No direct channel, of course. He had always liked quiet. She leaned back in her chair, closing her eyes. Her heart felt heavy. For all the stars she had crossed, for all the speeches she had made. She had never felt so far from home. But she wasn't hopeless. Humans didn't give up, not when it mattered. She opened her private logger rarely used. Feature. Reserved for messages never meant to be sent. She began to type private. Log entry. Nia Rowe, not sent hi. I don't know if you'll ever read this. I don't even know if I'll send it, but I miss you. You were right. They never wanted us to be part of their circle. We were the newcomers, the loud ones, the ones who asked too many questions. But you also said we had something special, something they'd never understand. I think you meant hope. You always said humans don't need perfect systems. We just need each other. I think I forgot that. Wish I could come visit your shop. Sit beside you like before. Maybe one day. Nia. She sat quietly for a long time, staring at the blinking cursor. Then, slowly, she hit save draft. Not send. Not yet. But close. Something in her chest felt lighter. Maybe it wasn't too late. Maybe distance wasn't the end of things. Maybe it was just a challenge, and humans were good at challenges. As the ship drifted silently over the glowing cities of Helios Prime, Nia watched a small human ship land on the planet below. A trader vessel. It's probably someone bringing supplies, stories. Maybe even a message. She whispered softly, one step at a time. Because even when they're lost or pushed aside, humans don't forget. They don't stop caring. They don't stop trying. And sometimes, hope is just a message waiting to be sent. Asterisk, the days moved slowly after that. Nia Rowe walked the shining halls of the Galactic Council's main dome on Helios Prime, but everything felt empty. She passed dozens of alien delegates, some tall and blue-skinned, some with scales or feathers, but none of them looked her in the eye anymore, not since the vote. She had been told it wasn't personal, it's just politics said standard adjustments. But Nia wasn't a child. She knew what it meant. Humanity was no longer welcome at the table. She thought of Elias every day now, his quiet way of looking at problems. The way he never spoke much, but when he did it mattered. Would have seen this coming, and he would have told her, "You don't have to fix this alone." But she was alone. She didn't know how to fix anything anymore. Nia stood on the outer deck, watching shuttles rise and fall like tiny sparks above the planet. Her thoughts drifted, again, to the past. She remembered the time Elias fixed her broken cumband on Europa Station. He didn't say much, just handed it back, fully working. With a slight smile, "You always try to fix everything with words," he had said back then, but sometimes all someone needs is someone who shows up. She hadn't shown up for him in a long time. She wondered if he hated her now. Or worse, if he didn't care anymore. That thought hurt more than anything. Back in her quarters, she reopened her private log. The message she'd written to Elias was still there, sitting in draft like a memory too scared to be real. She stared at it. Her thumb hovered over send. Then she closed it again. Not yet, but the longing inside her didn't stop. It was like a quiet, ache-deep, steady, familiar. It reminded her of what it meant to be human. Not perfect, not powerful, but full of heart. And humans didn't quit on the people they loved. Not even when they were light years apart. Later that night, she walked through the embassy garden, one of the few places on Helios Prime that felt peaceful. The plants were grown from Earth soil, carefully kept alive under artificial sunlight. In the center stood a young cherry blossom tree. She reached out and touched its bark. She had planted it 2 years ago, when humanity signed its trade agreement with the Council. That day, she had believed in unity, in shared futures. But now, that future felt like a lie. Still, the tree had grown. It bloomed pink and bright. It's untouched by politics. That gave her a strange sense of hope. Maybe things could grow again even if everything else had fallen apart. She took out her comband and opened the secure channel. She didn't have Elias's new address, but she remembered an old one, an outdated link from Europa Station. Maybe it was still connected to something. She recorded a message. Message recording from Nia Rohai. "Matthias, I'm not sure this will reach you. It's been a long time. I just wanted to say I'm sorry for not writing, for leaving like I did. I thought I could change things up here. I thought if I played by their rules, I could help Earth, help everyone. But they never wanted us to grow. They just wanted us quiet. I feel like I've lost so much, but I don't want to lose you too. If you're out there, maybe send me a message, even just a hey. That would mean everything. Naya." She hit send before she could change her mind. And then she waited. 1 day passed. Then 2, nothing. But on the 3rd day, as she sat near the cherry blossom tree again, her COM and band blinked. 1 message. Her heart jumped. She opened it. Message received from unknown channel. "Hey, took you long enough." She laughed. A quiet, tearful laugh. It wasn't much, but it was real. He was out there. He still cared. The stars above still burned. The Council still ignored her. But something inside Nia had changed, because humans may feel distant, lost, or tired, but they never stop hoping. They never stop reaching for the ones who matter. And sometimes, 1 message is all it takes to start the long road back. 2 short lines, but they felt like a warm fire in a cold room. She hadn't realized how much she had needed to see them, how lonely her heart had been for that voice from home. Elias, he hadn't said much, of course. He never did. But Nia could feel it. He still cared. He hadn't cut her off. There was still a line between them, thin, fragile, but real. And in that moment, Nia understood something. Reconnecting didn't always start with grand words. Sometimes it started with just being there, even across the stars. But there was no time to celebrate. Not today. The Council was meeting, and the vote on Earth's status was about to be called. Nia stood at the entrance of the Council chamber. She could hear the low hum of voices from inside. Alien tongues. Soft, distant, Not one of them had spoken to her since the news had spread. The vote was already decided. She could feel it. Earth would be stripped of its voice in the council. The official reason? Concerns about behavior, resource management, and technology sharing. The real reason? Fear. Fear of human growth. Fear of their ideas. Passion. Their unity. Nia took a deep breath and walked in. Rows of council members turned to look, some curious, some cold. A few even looked guilty, but none would speak up for her. She took her seat anyway. The council, Spikora tall, being with 6 eyes and golden skin, rose and announced the final vote as the names and results echoed through the chamber. Nia didn't flinch. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, every yes was a nail in Earth's place at the table then. Silence. The speaker turned to Nia. Her. Ambassador Rowe. Earth is hereby suspended from council proceedings pending further review. The chamber stayed quiet. No applause, no shouts, just silence. Nia stood slowly. Her hands trembled, but her voice didn't. Thank you for making your decision clear, she said. Now let me make ours. She took out a small device from her jacket. It was round, silver, and marked with Earth's crest. With a single tap, she activated Protocol Quiet Flame. Across the galaxy, that exact moment, something incredible began. On a mining station near Zeta Reticuli, the human administrator vanished from the network, locking all systems behind Earth-coded encryption. On a trade port in the Ashari Belt, every human cargo ship left the docks in silence. The space where laughter and music once rang out fell still. On council planets, terminals powered by human software went dark. Energy grids slowed. Shipyards paused. Earth's satellites stopped answering. Humanity had disconnected. Nia looked at the stunned faces around her. You pushed us out, she said softly. So we've stepped away. All of us at once. You can't. We already did. She turned and walked out. Back in her quarters, she sat by the window and watched her ship prepare for departure. The stars felt closer now. Not because they were kinder, but because she had stopped asking them to understand her. She was human, and that meant something. It meant rising after the fall. It meant building again when no one believed you could. It meant reaching out again. And again, even when your hands were tired. And this time, she wouldn't be reaching alone. Her comlink buzzed. A new message. Still stubborn, I see. I heard the vote. Everyone did? Brave move? Need help? Nia smiled, tears filling her eyes. She typed back. Always. That night, as the ship left orbit, she looked down at Helios Prime one last time. It glittered with towers and pride, but no warmth. No heart. She didn't belong there anymore. But that was okay, because she still had something more powerful than titles or votes. She had hope and humans. They build futures with hope. Asterisk, the stars had never felt so quiet. Nia Rowe leaned against the glass wall of the observation deck as her ship, the Unity, drifted far from Helios Prime. The Council's capital was now just a pale light behind them, shrinking with every passing hour. But even as the distance grew, the ache in her heart remained. She had done it. She had cut Earth's connection to the Galactic Council. Every trade route, every transmission line, every shared satellite was now silent. Earth had stepped away. All at once, it had been bold. It had been necessary. But it had also been lonely. And that loneliness sat heavy in Nia's chest. She missed Elias more than ever. His messages had become more frequent since she reached out. Small things, jokes, questions, comments about her speeches, but she wanted more. She wanted to see him, hear his voice, sit beside him again. But there was a problem. Now. Even Earth's own channels were locked down under the Quiet Flame Protocol. She couldn't send personal video calls. She couldn't request a private visit. Everything was silent even between. Humans for security, it made sense, but it still hurt. She wanted to ask, do you still think of me the same way? Do you still remember who I used to be? She wasn't sure, so she waited. And the silence echoed louder each day. The crew of the Unity was small. Just 30 humans and 2 Earth-built AI systems. They stayed busy running diagnostics, rerouting old communications, and checking that no Council signals could trace their path. Everyone was focused, except Naya. She spent her nights sitting by the window, staring at the stars. Sometimes she wondered if Elias was doing the same thing, sitting somewhere on Mars with a hot cup of tea. Thinking of her like she thought of him, she hoped so. One night she opened her journal and began to write. Private journal, Naya Rowe. I feel far from everything. I thought doing the right thing would make me feel strong. But mostly I feel small. Earth is silent. The galaxy is cold. And I don't know what comes next, Elias. If you're reading this somehow, I wish I could just walk into your workshop. I'd sit on the floor, hand you a broken part and say nothing. You'd fix it. We'd smile. I don't want to be an ambassador right now. I just want to be your friend. Again, I want to come home, Nietha. Next morning, something strange happened. An alert rang through the bridge. Not an emergency, but a message, an old one. Buried in backup systems. Low priority. Nia rushed to the control room. It's from a small station in the Arion sector, the officer explained. One of ours, a maintenance relay, left an auto transmission days ago. Just reached us now. Play it, Nia said. Screen flickered. The image was grainy. A human engineer appeared, covered in dust and grease. We noticed the silence. The Council thinks it's a threat, but we know better. We know what this is. It's a pause. It's a chance to breathe. A time to build something better. We're with you, Ambassador. We'll wait. We'll work. And when you call again, we'll answer, Long live Earth. End transmission. The room was quiet. Nia didn't speak. She didn't need to, because in that one moment, something shifted. She wasn't alone. Others felt it too. That message sent from a dusty repair station in the middle of nowhere was more powerful than a fleet of ships. It was a reminder of what it meant to be human, not giving up, not walking away, just waiting. With hope, Naya turned to her crew. Record this, she said. They began. She stood tall, her voice calm but full of heart. Message to all Earth systems from Nia Rowe. We are not silent because we're afraid. We're silent because we're thinking, planning, healing. The Council turned away from us. That's fine. We remember who we are. We don't stop when others walk out. We don't break when we're ignored. We build. We connect. We grow. When the time is right, we return. Together, end message. As the ship drifted onward, Naya checked her cum log one more time. A new message. You sounded like yourself today. That's the Nia I remember. Still got a spot in the workshop if you ever need it. Her eyes filled with quiet tears. They were still distant, but maybe not for long. Because humans don't stay broken forever. They heal. Together, and they never stop hoping. Nia stood on the quiet deck of the Unity, hands resting behind her back, eyes fixed on the stars. The darkness outside didn't scare her anymore. It just reminded her how far away everything felt. Earth was silent. The Council had cut all ties. No meetings, no talks, no diplomacy. Human stations had shut off their signals to avoid detection. Everything she once knew, the sound of voices in the Council chamber, the laughter in shared halls, even the hum of alien cities was gone. It was the price of walking away. But sometimes, Naya wondered if that price had been too high. She missed Elias. Deeply, he still sent messages now and then. It's always short, always steady. It'd grown more personal in recent days, little things, memories, a line or two from a song they both used to listen to. But it wasn't enough. She didn't just want his words. She wanted him to sit beside her, to talk with no walls between them, to feel like she wasn't floating through space alone. One night, she wrote a message but didn't send it. Draft message, Nia. Rowe, do you ever feel like I'm someone else now? I try to be strong, to make good choices. But sometimes I miss the old days when I didn't have to carry all this. When I was just Nia, and you were just Elias, the council. Turned away, the galaxy moved on, but I can't. Not from you." She closed it. Outside her window, a small shuttle, past no lights, no name. One of Earth's shadow patrols, moving in silence, guarding the dark. Watching the Watchers, that was the world they lived in now. A world of quiet strength. The aliens in the council never understood humans. They thought humans were soft, too emotional, too loud, too hopeful. They thought fear and pressure would make Earth obey, but they never understood what humans really were. They weren't just warriors or dreamers, they were builders. Give a human an empty room, they make a home. Give them a broken part, they fix it. Give them silence, and they fill it with connection. That was the gift of humanity, and Nia remembered it now. She didn't need the council to listen. She didn't need perfect systems or glowing approval. She just needed people who believed. People like Elias. People like the engineer from the Arion sector. People who knew what it meant to try again, even when everything seemed broken. She opened her datapad and started a new project. It wasn't a council file. It wasn't a speech. It was a message hub secure, encrypted, and simple. A place where humans across the galaxy could check in, leave updates, and reconnect in small, private ways. She called it the Signal Garden. Even a garden starts from quiet soil, she whispered. She sent the program to 10 remote human outposts, each on the edge of forgotten space. No titles, no demands, just the message. We're still here. Let's grow again. Together. The next day, she got a reply. Then another. Then 20 more. Humans from different walks of life, miners, engineers, traders, teachers sending short bursts of hope, sharing how they were surviving, how they were. Holding on, some sent pictures, songs, a few old jokes. Others asked if the council would ever accept them again. Nia replied with honesty, maybe not. But we don't wait for permission to be ourselves. The messages filled her with warmth, and then his message came, from Elias. Marek saw the Signal Garden. Good idea. Real Nia move. It's built something similar here on Mars. Not as pretty. But the kids like it. They leave notes to Earth. Some write poems. Still got that old seat by the window. Yours if you ever find your way back. She smiled. Tears touched her eyes again. But this time, they weren't from pain. They were from disease. Hope. For the first time in weeks, she didn't feel so far. The stars were still silent. But now they were full of messages. She looked up and whispered, "We're still here." And that was enough. Because the council could break ties. The galaxy could turn cold. But humans, they keep growing. They keep connecting. They keep reaching. And one day, even across light years, she would sit beside Elias again. They would laugh like they used to. Asterisk. The days passed slowly aboard the Unity. Every corridor was clean. Every system worked. But the silence inside the ship was louder than any alarm. Nia Rome moved through her duties like a ghost. She answered reports, reviewed transmission records, approved ship movements, but her thoughts were always far away. Back on Mars, back with Elias. She wanted to see him. Not just through a message, not in her memories. In person, but she didn't know how. The quiet flame protocol was still active. Until Earth's command gave the signal, no one could break it. No travel, no calls, no reunions. Security came first. She understood that, but understanding didn't make the ache smaller. She missed the sound of his laugh. Not the way he looked at her when she talked too fast. The way he always found something broken to fix even when everything else felt impossible. And now she didn't know if there was anything left to fix between them. That thought stayed with her. She walked into the control room. Her crew greeted her with tired smiles. They had been through so much, cutting off from the galaxy, losing friends, living in silence. And still, they kept going. Humans always did. That's what made them different. And that's what gave her an idea. "Reboot protocols," she said quietly. The crew turned. Ambassador. The tech officer asked. Nia stepped closer. What if we don't wait for the council to come around? What if we don't wait for the old systems to work again? What if we start our own? You mean? I mean a new network. A clean one. Built by humans, for humans. No outside filters. No council blocks. Just honest voices. They looked at her. Someone smiled. Someone nodded. Someone said, let's do it. That same day, they began Nia. Renamed the Signal Garden into something bigger. The Hearthline. Because every home, she said, starts with a fire. They created simple hubs on every human ship and outpost. Messages, voices, updates, no ranks, no formality. Just connection. One by one. People responded, old colony worlds. Spacefair. Science labs hiding in asteroid belts. Even children on mining. Riggs sent messages. Nia read every one. Some made her cry, some made her laugh, some just made her feel less alone, but still. No call from Elias. His last message had been short, like always. Still here, workshop's a mess. Hope you're okay. She hadn't replied yet. What could she say? I miss you. Wish I could come home. I don't know if I'm still the person you remember. None of it felt like enough. Then late one evening, as the stars drifted by her window, she took a risk. She opened a live voice channel. She pressed record. Voice message from Nia Rohe. It's late here. Quiet. The stars look the same. But everything's different. I miss Europa Station. I miss your tea. I miss talking without needing to say anything smart. I miss you. I don't know what I'm supposed to be now. The galaxy closed its doors, and I closed mine too, I think. But I want to open them again, if I ever come home. Would you still have time for me? Even just a little? No pressure? Just wondering. Nieshe almost didn't send it, but then she did, and waited. Nothing came the next morning, or the next, until finally. The day after that, her screen blinked. One message. Video attached. She tapped it. Elias appeared on screen. He looked older. Tired, but kind. He sat in his workshop, surrounded by wires and tools, and a second chair beside him. Video message from Elias Marek. Took me a while to think what to say. You asked if I'd still have time for you. Nia, I never stopped. This chair? It's been here since you left. Never used it for anyone else. Maybe you're not the same. Maybe I'm not either, but I don't care. You're still Nia. That's enough. If you find a way back, I'll be here. Waiting. No pressure. Just hoping. She watched it twice. Then again. Then she cried. Not because she was sad, but because even after all the distance, someone still believed in her. Someone still saw her. And that, more than anything, was the fire she needed to keep going. Nia Rowe sat quietly in the command room of the Unity. The stars outside were calm, but her heart was full of noise. Every day she waited for more messages. Messages from Earth, from friends, from people she cared about. But it felt like the distance was growing instead of shrinking. Still, hope never left her. Humans were built for hope. One evening, her console beeped with an alert. It wasn't from Earth. It was from a small group of worlds far from the councils. Eyes. Worlds where humans and alien friends had lived quietly, away from politics and power struggles. These were the ones who believed in something different. The message was simple. To all human contacts and allies, we remember the kindness you showed. We remember the help you gave us. We stand with you. The Council may have broken the old ties, but new ones are growing. We call this the Stellar Accord. Join us. Together, we are stronger. From the Free Worlds Coalition, Nea's heart leaped. This was more than just words. It was a hand reaching across the void. She called her crew to the conference room. This is real, she said. Not all have forgotten us. Not all have turned away. There are worlds that want to build with us on trust, respect, and fairness. The crew smiled. For the first time in a long time, the weight of loneliness lifted a little. Nia sent a message back. To the Free Worlds Coalition, we hear you, we thank you. We will join the Stellar Accord and build a future together. Humanity never gave up, and now we will prove why. Now Ro, ambassador of Earth days past. More messages arrive, invitations to meet, offers to trade, shared knowledge. It was like the galaxy was beginning to breathe again. Among the messages was one from Elias, still saving a place for you in the workshop. The kids want to meet the ambassador, who never stopped fighting. Mars is waiting. Aeneas smiled and looked out the window. The stars weren't so far anymore. They were lights guiding. Her home, she whispered, we are not alone. Because humans, even when pushed away, find new ways to connect. Even when distant, they never stop hoping. They never stop reaching. And one day, she would stand beside Elias again, under Earth's sky, together, stronger, and ready for whatever came. Next, the galaxy was not the same. The old council had broken itself by pushing humanity away. Now many worlds were turning away too. They saw what happened. They saw the silence Earth chose, and they knew the future had to be different. Nero stood before the new assembly, a stellar accord, a gathering of species who believed in respect, fairness, and cooperation. She was nervous, but her heart was steady. This was the chance she had hoped for. The hall was full of faces. Some were strange, some were kind, some were curious. But all listened as she spoke. Friends, Nia began. We come from different places, different stories. But we share one truth. None of us are perfect. None of us have all the answers. But together, we can build something better. She looked at the crowd, feeling the weight of every lost moment with Elias, every quiet night of loneliness. Humanity never wanted to dominate. We wanted respect. We wanted a seat at the table where every voice mattered. A soft murmur passed through the hall. We were pushed away, ignored, but we did not stop hoping. We did not stop reaching out. Nia smiled softly. Today, we offer a new beginning, a new council, built on trust, on fairness, on honesty. She paused, then added quietly and on hope. After her speech, people came forward to talk, to share ideas, to build plans. Among them, a message arrived on her personal screen. It was Elias. We're waiting. The workshop is ready. The stars are ready. So am I. Nia's eyes filled with tears, not of sadness, but of joy. The distance between them had been great. The silence had been long, but hope had never died. Humans were proof of that, because no matter how far away the ones we love move, no matter how hard it gets to reach them, we never stop trying, we never stop caring, and we always find a way home. Nia stood tall, ready to lead, because this was not the end, it was just the beginning.